The last time we went Grand National Cross Country Racing on NBCSN, the cream of the crop rose to the top with Chris Borch and Caleb Russell taking the victories. Can anyone knock off the defending champions today? We'll find out. The Big Buck is next. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to NBCSN's coverage of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series today. The VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC. We're just outside of the Greenville, Spartanburg region. We'll have ATV highlights coming up a little bit later in the show, but today we're going to focus in on our bike race. We've just wrapped up the amateur portion of the program. See the 722. Jessica Patterson wins the women's class over Casey Martinez there in the orange motorcycle. A great battle in the women's division. But now the fans are fired up for our afternoon pro race. The number one there, the XC2 champion, Grant Baylor. He is a South Carolina native. In the XC1 class, the Premier Division, Caleb Russell, the number one. He's the one everyone is gunning for, although Charlie Mullins, the early season points leader, despite Russell winning the last two races. And don't count out that rider, Josh Strang. He has kept the KTMs honest for the first couple races this year, as well as his young Yamaha teammate, Jordan Ashburn. KTM does have a home track favorite, Stuart Baylor, Grant's older brother, on the front row, and the South Carolina fans are hoping to see some action from the Baylor boys at their home race today. Engines are off. We'll wave the green flag and fire them up. It's 3 hours of cross-country racing at the Big Buck. I'm Jason Wygant here to give you the call. And they're thundering into turn one, and look, it's Baylor going to try to grab the whole shot. No, shooting through the pack. No surprise. The AmPro Yamaha veteran, Paul Whibley, with the All Balls Whole Shot Award. Rocky Mountain ATV MC helmet camera on board with Strang here, and not a good start for him at all. Boy, he's got work to do. This course is going to tighten up in the woods. Adam Benor there on his left. He's trying to get around him, and Strang does. He's got his work cut out for him with all this dust and traffic. Jordan Ashburn into the lead, now ahead of Whibley. Then it's Jason Thomas, Baylor, Mullins, Andrew DeLong. It's the three of Chris Bach. Then we see the one of Russell. So actually, Strang only 2 positions behind Russell, so not that bad. But how about Ashburn? 3rd year, I believe, in this class, really starting to step up this year. Obviously, those Yamaha teammates, he and Whibley, have the starts figured out. They've been mixing up the whole shot awards between them. We're going back to the line now for XC2. These are the young kids on the 250s. Oh, tucking the front end, but I think still hanging on for the whole shot. But Sammy Evans able to hold on and grab the digitaloffroad.com whole shot award of the class. He's up to the early lead. Ryan Lojak right behind him on the Yamaha. Then it's Baylor, Shane Hufford, and Ricky Russell. And thoughts and prayers go out to the rider who was leading the points in this championship. Rory Mead had a big injury at our last race in North Carolina. Mead, part of the Shane Watts Dirt Wise Off-Road Riding School team. Hope that he gets well soon. And you can go to GNCCRacing.com, our website, to see how you can help Rory out. We're back up front in the XC1 class, and somehow Charlie Mullins has plowed his way into the lead. Mullins, your series points leader. See Caleb Russell going by the number one. He has to get ultra aggressive. It's where Mullins really thrives. He's very fast at the beginning of these races. Here's scaling one of the famous big old hill climbs here in South Carolina. Just Mullins, the Yamahas of Whibley and Ashburn, then Stuart Baylor. Everyone else scrambling. There is Russell. Outside the top 5, Chris Bach with him, Strang, Thad Duvall on the Honda. But Charlie Mullins has always been bad fast. But the last couple of years, he's also been one of the top guns in the AMA National Enduro Series. A little bit different type of racing format than GNCC, and generally the riders that race that championship are very fast from the get-go, and that is where Mullins excels. So we'll see if anyone can keep him in check early. You see the pack is still very close on the opening lap, except for up front. This is what Mullins does best. Follows the arrows, figures out the race line, where to go, and it's it's up to everyone else to try to match his pace. And it is close, the rest of this group. We watch Baylor keep everyone in sight. I also saw Ryan Sipes, former motocrosser, up front early on today. We've had a bunch of mud races the last couple of weeks. I've got to imagine Sipes is happy that we're racing in dry conditions today, but look at Mullins bouncing all over this course. Same thing with Ashburn trying to keep up. And they've distanced themselves. Then it's Whibley, Jason Thomas, and then Sipes. This is where Mullins is so good. Just checking out on the field early. You cannot practice or pre-run in GNCC racing, as we see Sipes has moved up to third, and Sipes has told us to transition from motocross and supercross to this. Oh, and a rider down, I think that's Whibley. Tagged a tree. Russell tries to get by him, nearly goes down as well, and almost takes Josh Strang with him in the process. And in the tangle up, Jason Thomas is down on the number 9, part of the Dirtwise Riding School crew. So Charlie Mullins just getting further and further away with all the drama behind him, putting the power down to the ground on that FMF KTM Factory 450. Let's see if anyone can keep up with him.
Twins have notoriously been very hard on crankshafts because that big long stroke with his 2 cylinders just flexes the crankshaft around. So we were seeing bearing issues. Research development people at AMSOIL could show us that it was likely an oil problem. And they were correct. That was the issue. Instead of having to redesign the engine, I just had to do a better quality oil.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. You're watching NBCSN's coverage of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series. Your race leader, Charlie Mullins. And with riding like that, there's no doubt. A slippery, twisting hill climb with tree roots to boot, no problem. Jordan Ashburn, the young kid out of Tennessee, is second. And Caleb Russell, your defending champ, is third. And ultra-aggressive Josh Strang here in fourth knows he needs to just follow Russell to the front. The champ is going to be there before long. You've got to imagine Mullins doing everything he can to maintain the gap. Here's Ashburn in second. Oh, the fans love these big obstacles here in the Grand National Cross Country Series. So a pivotal part of the race to see if Russell and Strang can work together to bridge the gap between Ashburn and Mullins. If you put the pressure on Mullins, then they might have a shot. But as always in racing, if he doesn't hear or feel anyone behind him, he's got nothing to worry about. So Russell knows this game well. He's got to try to get to second and keep the heat on. And look at Strang. Great job of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC Yamaha to keep the champ in sight. Oh, we got some tight stuff in the canyons here. And Mullins handling it well. Former series champion. Nearly won this title last year. Russell able to outduel him. Looks like Russell has climbed into second. He's gotten around Ashburn. And now Strang has done the same, so it must have been a mistake for the young kid, pushing him back to fourth. Oh, and he missed the line there, just a little hesitation. And we were talking about the motocross and supercross rider Ryan Sipes competing with us this year, and that's what he said has been the big thing, figuring out where to go. These guys are aces at racing hard on a track they have not practiced on and figuring out exactly the best way to line up the trees, figure out the short line, and experience certainly pays off. Looks like Ashburn losing a little bit of ground to Strang right now. I know Strang is motivated. He is not happy about the way things have gone the last 2 years. These KTM riders have just gotten the drop on everyone. They have been the class of the field. Strang wants desperately to get in there, break up these 1-2 finishes. But he has lost a little bit of ground to Russell. The 24-year-old second-generation rider, his dad Jeff was the AMA National Enduro Champion back in 1991. So certainly he comes from good stock. And now Russell has taken the lead from Mullins. So all that work paid off. He put in a good sprint for about a lap and a half, and now he has the lead. His teammate relegated to second, and we're gonna see who's got the speed now, because you know Russell's gonna keep on pushing, and we'll see if Mullins can hang with him. We have seen some fantastic duels between the teammates the last couple of seasons, and this is a measuring stick for Strang. Can he try to keep them in sight? Still got the dust up ahead. But right now, Caleb Russell trying to take this race by the throat. Did not get the start at all. But by lap 2, he put his head down, started charging, and he's the man to beat right now through the hills and dale of South Carolina. Stay with us.
Sometimes you come across something so different, you just have to stop and check it out. The Rocky Mountain ATV MC website has everything you need, from our huge selection of tires, ATV and UTV accessories, and OEM parts, to our online chat, customer reviews, and instructional videos. Our extensive inventory means most orders arrive in 3 days or less. Get low prices, quick shipping, and incredible customer service. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Welcome back. It's coverage of the VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC here on NBCSN. Going to give you the highlights of our ATV racing from Saturday afternoon. The number 1, Chris Borich, the 2 of Walker Fowler trying to battle for this title. Braden Henthorpe looking stylish here doing the one-wheeled wheelie. And there's the fun-loving Adam McGill. All these guys, they had a good time at the races, let's be honest. Now that's the kickoff there with our battle for the whole shot. Twin Air and DeRisi Racing putting money on the line. And it was bad news for these boys because Chris Borich, your defending and 5-time champion, grabbed that whole shot. And he is not known for the good starts. But he did have Walker Fowler right behind him. Now Borich has won 2 races this year. Fowler won. And they were battling hard at our last event until Fowler here on the number 2 got tangled up in lap traffic and finished outside of the top 10. So the young kid out of Rogers, Ohio was determined to get around Borich and beat him today. He did the getting around part well, putting his Ampro and Fab Yamaha into the number 1 spot. Borich on the Maxxis Suzuki was going to have to challenge him. And a good start for the young kid Chase Shadron in 3rd. A rider who has come through the GNCC ranks on mini quads and in the amateur division, trying to keep the leaders in check. There he is in the number 11 behind Jared McClure, Adam McGill, and Brian Wolf. These 450cc race quads just tearing up the course. And no surprise, it will boil down to a battle between Fowler and Borich. These two have really been pushing. And everyone knows, 2 laps to go, that they're entering the domain of Chris Borich. This is where he likes to do his damage. Fowler doing everything he could to try to break open a gap between himself and the veteran champion. But everywhere he went, Borich was shadowing him and perhaps holding on to some lines for late in the race to make a pass. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack trying to keep them in check, like the number 10 of McClure there in 3rd. And then it was Adam McGill and Chris Bithell. But as you watch the action up front, it doesn't get much closer than this. Borich shadowing Fowler, trying everything he could to get around him. And on the last lap, Borich actually makes an uncharacteristic mistake and goes down and has to try to reel Fowler back in. And the fans got to witness a fantastic duel between this dynamic duo. So much more on the line than just series points, confidence, and momentum in the championship as well. And Borich was able to seize it. Fowler's lead evaporated in lap traffic. Borich then makes the move, and the kid out of Ohio is left shaking his head again. What are you going to do with the 5-time king of quads? But Borich knows the game. Here he is yelling and telling a lap rider to get out of his way. He learned at the hands of some of the masters like Bill Balance, who is a 9-time GNCC ATV champ. Balance used to pull the last lap trick on Borich in the past, and now he's using it to hold off his young competition. Just a week ago, Borich became the all-time leader in GNCC wins, and he's going to add to his record with another win at the Big Buck. If Borich can get title number 6 this year, he'll edge closer to Barry Hawk's mark of 7 and Bill Balance's mark of 9. It could be up to this kid, Walker Fowler, to end that streak. But he's going to have to wait till next week at least to try to top Borich in a race. Fantastic battle down the stretch here between old favorites McGill and Bithell. They did not have good starts, but they were there in 3rd and 4th in the final lap, and they went at it hard, with Bithell making the passes that matter most, putting his Precision Maxxis tire machine right in front of the Pirate MX CST tires Honda of McGill. Well done for Bithell, who actually credited the fans, keeping his energy levels up all day long. They were pushing him from beginning to end. Here are your AMSOIL results. McClure, another solid run inside the top 5, and a lot of the young kids, Henthorne, Merritt, Bryson Neal, Landon Wolf, are starting to make their presence known in the XC1 class. They're the future stars of GNCC. Now, on the other end, we have our spectacular racing in the UTV series. Yep, we put these big side-by-side machines out there on the racetrack together. Polaris Razors, Can-Am Commanders, Yamaha Rhinos, Kawasaki Terexes, and the rest. And they tear it up. And a lot of the talent behind the wheel are ex-superstars of bikes and ATV GNCC racing. Like Tim Farr, who's leading it right now. You got Matt Roll here in 2nd in the team Game On Can-Am. And the rest of the field hungry to come get him. It is unbelievable how far these machines have advanced in just a couple of years of GNCC ATV racing. Here's Roll trying to get out front. Team Jax in the number 2 now giving chase, as is William Yoakley, the number 1 Polaris National Guard machine. Now attrition, a big part of racing these big machines through the woods, and when it's all said and done, it'll be the number 1, William Yoakley, take the overall victory.
What do you call a machine that combines precision-engineered handling, industry-leading power, and a rider-focused design? We call it a Can-Am. From the essentials to fully loaded, you'll find that same combination in every ATV and side-by-side we build. And right now, get your own for as low as $149 a month. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. We're back with our bike coverage from the VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC, and this guy, Caleb Russell, is making it look easy. Back-to-back wins in muddy races in Georgia and North Carolina. In the dust, it has been a lot simpler for everyone. Russell did not get the good start, had to get around his teammate here, Charlie Mullins, but once he's had the lead, he's extended it. And Josh Strang, who wants so desperately to break up this KTM 1-2 punch, still waiting for his opportunity. Former series champion out of Australia, not going to give up though. He remembers a time where he was battling and even beating these guys. He wants to get back up to that step, but Strang did lose nearly a year of racing with a leg injury. Couldn't get the ride he was looking for to race GNCC. Has really found a home now with Yamaha, and he's comfortable up at the top 3 on the podium. But no one has figured out an answer for Caleb Russell when he's on his game. Look at how fast he is just tearing up these field sections. And the thing that really drives Russell is confidence. He has always believed that he can make it happen, even when he doesn't get the starts, or even when luck is not on his side, as it was not in the opener this year. Had mechanical troubles. Mullins was able to take the win. Mullins always flies at our opener, though, down in the sand of Florida. You can't take anything away from him. And the hot rod on the 112 here, he's going to be consistent. He's going to stay in it. It's not going to be easy for Russell to overcome him, but with the win today, KR might just take over the points lead. And here's Strang still looking for the combination to match the boys in orange. Got great help, though, from everyone at Yamaha this year. The veteran team manager of the Ampro Yamaha outfit, Randy Hawkins, helping Strang out. And they've pushed him to another level. Last year, he was doing it on his own on Kawasaki's. Looks to be a little stronger this season. How about Mullins keeping his head down and charging? Trying to keep the heat on Russell down the stretch. These are 3-hour races, so fitness is such a big thing, and really just focus. You cannot lose concentration. You can go down. So Mullins is probably hoping that Russell maybe makes a mistake, gets tangled up in lap traffic, and that will maybe let him get back in it. Here's Mullins still charging. And Strang as well. Back and forth, Andrew DeLong on the factory Husqvarna. Looking for his best finish of the season. DeLong, his first year in this Premier XC1 class. Here's Russell now in a lap traffic. This could be Mullins' opportunity. But the champ has cleared it without incident. And look at him cut across the track to find the right line over those tree roots. Don't want to hit them at too much of an angle. You can go down. He's avoided the big mistakes and finds himself in control, looking for 3 straight victories. And the young man out of Ohio, who now makes his racing home in North Carolina, has conquered the big buck here in South Carolina. Caleb Russell wins the VP Racing Fuels Big Buck. And ever consistent, Charlie Mullins wasn't able to solve his teammate today, but he will finish in the number 2 spot. Keep him honest in the point standings. Any more mistakes from the champ, and Mullins could be right back up front in the series. So take second on the day when you're not able to take first and live to fight another one in a 13-round championship. As for Strang, a great ride for him. A podium is always nice, but again, his goals are pretty high. He wants to beat the 2 KTMs. He's going to end up coming up just short of that. And there is Strang. By the way, all 3 of these guys live and train and ride in North Carolina. That's the place to be for GNCC Racing these days. AMSOIL results show DeLong does get that career best finish in the class, ahead of your veteran Whibley. Ashburn dropped to 6th. Baylor, Thomas, Sipes, and Takeshi Koikita round out the top 10. We'll give you that AMSOIL race recap. Great start for the Yamahas. Paul Whibley and Jordan Ashburn out front 1-2 on the AmPro NFAB bikes. Bad start for Caleb Russell, but he would work his way forward, then get around his teammate Charlie Mullins to grab the lead. And he absolutely pinned it from there. Mullins was going so hard in second, somehow couldn't get back around his teammate. In the ATV division, Chris Borich, another record-breaking victory. And Russell will hold on to win the bike race and take over the series points lead. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching, and congrats to our winners.